All right, my friends. I just pressed the Let's Go Live button, which means we gotta wait for the stream to fire up all across the fruited plain of the interwebs. Before we go ahead and get started, got to make sure those tubes are working. Sometimes the tubes get a little bit clogged, and we had an eclipse today, so I don't know if the eclipse clogged the interwebs, but it looks like things are working. We are connecting. That's tremendous news. It's working. That means we can go ahead and get started. So let's do it, shall we? Hello, my friends, and welcome back to yet another episode of Watching the Watchers Live, the show that spotlights misconduct involving police, prosecutors, and politicians. My name is Robert Gouveia. I am a criminal defense attorney, and today we're talking about Fani Willis. She does not want to be disqualified. We got two segments on her. Then we're going over to New York to see what's going on there because that is a burner as well. But we're starting the day off with an update from Harrison Floyd. You know him. He's a co-defendant. We've covered a bunch of different proceedings with him and him involved, including that one time that Fani wanted to throw him back in custody because she didn't like his social media posts, said that some of his tweets were a little bit illegal for her and saying that he was trying to intimidate witnesses and blah, blah, blah. So he's warning her now. He says, you know, there was a situation where Fani illegally recorded a phone call, said that two parties needed to consent to a phone call that she had with her attorney, with Harrison Floyd's attorney, and that she didn't get permission from the attorney to actually record this conversation, and it wasn't in pursuit of justice or anything like that because Harrison Floyd was already in custody at that time. And so we're going to dive into this because there are some stories saying time's up for Big Fani. Harrison Floyd came out and said, you got to recuse yourself or else we're going to take this to the next step, and we'll talk about what that may or may not be, whether this turns into a criminal prosecution. I have my doubts, but maybe they'll be filing some other type of lawsuit or, right to privacy type of violation, civil offense, civil claim in Maryland, which we'll talk about. Now, came across this clip, hat tip to our friend PotentiallyCriminal. He's right next door on YouTube, does great work. And he retweeted this today, caught my eye. But this is a separate Fani case, not the Trump RICO case. But one of their investigators is sending text messages, okay, a Fulton County investigator, sending text messages to a witness saying, hey, mama, good morning, mama. Hope you slept well, mama. And then it goes on. And he's like, hey, what are you doing later? Hey, you want to come over here? He's an investigator, law enforcement, who is creeping on witnesses there in Fulton County. And you start to wonder, it's like, well, I mean, Fani set the precedent. It must be going on all over the place over there. Nobody even cares about it. Everybody's fanning and investigating each other there in Fulton County. So we'll talk about that. And then you may have seen this, but the Fani store is now official. So you can literally go get a fanny pack from the official Fani store. And it looks like, a bunch of cheap garbage, like her life. So we'll talk about all that. We also have a motion from Fani's office. They are begging the Court of Appeals, please don't accept Trump's appeal. Trump has said, okay, well, if Scott McAfee is not going to be a actual person of integrity and is going to just kick the can down the road and only disqualify half the bad people and let a noxious, disgusting odor reign supreme in his courtroom, well, he's free to do that. But Trump, Sadow, and the rest of the defense team, Ashley Merchant, Michael Roman, and others have appealed this, and they're not quite all the way there yet. The Court of Appeals in Georgia needs to accept it, and that has not happened yet. So Fani just dropped this one right out of the disgusting gutter of Fulton County. And this is her response saying, do not accept the appeal. We already have everything we need. And Trump's just mad about this. So we got that. And then in our last segment, man, this is a good one. We got Trump destroying, not him specifically, but his defense team, Judge McAfee and his daughter. All right. This is good. So we read last week the recusal motion, the pre-motion. Remember how this is working is Judge Merchan, they have this little procedure there that he has imposed to say, you get a permission slip before you file anything in my courtroom. And so Trump got the permission slip. We read that last week. But then this is the actual recusal motion, and it's good, man. They got screenshots, as you can see here, from Lauren Mercan's X account and Authentic, the actual entity that she works for, that was gobbling up all sorts of funds for Democrat donos and writing little email newsletters that were on the back of the Trump prosecution. So we've got the filing from Todd Blanche and Trump's defense to go through. And then what we have is this woman who is a former federal judge who was on CNN with Caitlin Collins, making her very, very agitated because she was saying, yeah, Trump's recusal motion looks pretty good. There's a statute in New York that even explains this that we'll take a look at in Trump's filings. And so, as you can see, my friends, we got some good news and business to attend to today. We're grateful that you are here and with us. I hope you had an amazing eclipse and you are still with us and brain is not scrambled or anything like that. But we didn't have much of it here in Arizona, and we were not in the area of totality. And so my brain is only half scrambled today, which is good news for the show. We also had a great members only stream this morning where we did talk about the eclipse. We talked about what's going on with Trump. We talked about Trump's big weekend. Woo, he made like $50 million. And then they called it all a bunch of billionaire racists on the other side. How dare he raise money? Blow out of the water, blown out was Joe Biden, his 32 million or whatever it was. So we have great members only streams. We had a great stream this past Saturday. We do streams in the morning. We do streams on Saturday, and we do after parties over there. And we have an amazing community. It's a great way to support the show, and we love you. Thank you for being a member at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. RobertGovea.com is the website where you can access our PDFs, where you can check out the merch store, where you can check out the show calendar, read our reports, access the PDFs. Did I say that already? It's all over there. And watcherlodge.com, which we're very excited about. We had our first Sovereignty Saturday this weekend. We had a great turnout there. We had a great conversation. Here's what it looks like. We were live for about 55 minutes or so, had some technical difficulties, but we made the best of it. And we're talking about gardening, okay? Gardening in your home. And I share exactly what I'm doing. I've got a bunch of stuff that's ordered and coming in. And I don't have a lot of space, but we're doing indoor growing. And so we're on that journey together right now. Sovereignty and self-development. We're trying to get our food supply a little bit better situated. And this is all free. It's all available. Just go check it out, watcherlodge.com. We also are posting stories every day about social collapse in the age of AI, how the Chase CEO, Jamie Dimon, is warning about an economic collapse. We talk about the fall of civilizations. Okay, Elon just posted this podcast. We got great links over here. And Thomas Massey introducing an amendment and the right to grow your own food, hydroponic videos. I share a bunch of great stuff over there. So check it out, watcherlodge.com. Links down in the description below, because Big Brother is watching us. All right, we've also got the community calendar. Register for the next Saturday, okay? So this is starting in 5 days on Saturday. We're back every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 Eastern. Come and join us. Click the community calendar and come and register over there. And then, of course, lastly, before we get to it, grab a shirt. Go onto the shopping center on YouTube and get a new Travis Matthews polo, man. They are in style, and summer is right around the corner, and you got to be looking good when you're out there fighting for freedom, wherever that is and whatever you're up to. So check it out. The YouTube just opened up our shopping tab, so now you can grab some gear from Nordstrom Rack, whether it's a polo, anything else. Use our link, click over there, and it's a great way to support our show and look great while you're doing it. So thanks for supporting us, my friend. This is a Travis Matthew, size medium right now. All right, without any further ado, let's get into it. Fani Willis gets a warning, an ultimatum. You better recuse yourself from this case or else, bucko. And this is coming from Harrison Floyd. We know this man right here, who has been the subject of Fani's wrath for quite some time, unreasonably so. Remember that Fani tried to lock him back up in custody, said he was posting some mean tweets and that is illegal, and said everybody's threatened and afraid and we're all freaked out. And Jenna Ellis sent that letter and crying to the court. We all go, what on earth? For some True Social posts or some tweets? Okay. So he's back. Now, the gag order has been modified on him, so he can get out there and now start talking about this stuff and raise some money for his defense. And so you should be following him, of course. Just go on over to X and search for Harrison Floyd. You'll find him. But here's some background on what is going on before we get to his statement, because he posted a message that we'll listen to here in a minute. But what's this all about? Well, this is the warning. The Epoch Times is reporting this for us, saying Trump's co-defendant Harrison Floyd warns he's going to file legal action against Big Fani. Okay, here we go. It's getting fantastic. A defendant in Trump's classified documents case says he's going to give Big Fani until April 8th to recuse herself. April what? That's today. She's out of time. Time's up, Big Fani. Otherwise, he's going to pursue legal action amid allegations that she illegally recorded his lawyer's phone call. Dun, dun, dun. Last week, Chris Kacharoff, an attorney for the defendant Harrison, alleged in an interview that Miss Willis recorded a call between her and one of his Maryland-based colleagues without their knowledge or consent. She did reach out to us, one of my colleagues in Maryland, and was rude, abrupt with him on the phone. And he was dealing with the Maryland case, and I was dealing with the Georgia case, and she ended up recording him. Mr. Kacharoff said in an interview, I believe that was with Phil Holloway. Shout out to Phil Holloway, who is on YouTube and X right next door to us. He noted that under the Maryland law, it's a felony to record someone without both parties' consent. So after the allegations surfaced, Mr. Floyd wrote on social media, Fani probably hates this, says, this is Harrison, he says, I don't want to put a black woman in jail, but if Willis does not recuse herself from this case by noon on Monday, time's up, Big Fani. I may have no other choice than to pursue all lawful remedies. Harrison Floyd says, make Fulton great again. Boom. So shout out to Harrison Floyd for the very strong statement there. And of course, the time has come and gone. And Fani has not accepted the ultimatum. Now, Miss Willis has not publicly responded. Several local media outlets have said that no, she's not responding to her request for comment. Neither Mr. Floyd nor Kacharoff provided any more details. We do have the statement from Floyd. Maryland is one of 11 states that requires two-party consent in order for a phone call to be recorded. If you don't get permission, felony. $10,000 fine, 5 years in prison. Georgia is a one-party consent state, meaning that only one party needs to record. That's all you need. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger recorded a phone call he had with Trump after 2020. And Mr. Floyd, along with dozens of others, have all been charged with crimes. Charged with conspiracy to solicit false statements. Accused of also assaulting two FBI agents in an encounter near his home, but he denies that as well. And thank God he was recording that. There was video on that, and they said, yeah, you attacked us. He's like, what? Mr. Floyd, a former Black Voices for Trump leader who's been thrown into the garbage by the left, turned himself in on a bond agreement before he was released on August 30th, after the indictment, the only person who was actually imprisoned. Now, in Georgia, the charges against Floyd stem for allegations of harassment and other controversies we know. Here is Harrison Floyd looking at Fani, and we know what face this is from Harrison, clearly. That face, you know what it is. We all know. He's thinking, this chick is crazy. She's crazy, man. Like, for real. Look at this. He's like, shit, what? You can see that's what's going on, right? She's lost her friggin' mind, is what he's thinking. So, and he's right. We're all wondering, who the heck is, okay, so that's exactly right? So in recent order, McAfee rejected an argument by President Trump's lawyers that the First Amendment protects his political speech, and we'll talk about that as this case develops. But here is what Harrison Floyd had to say about all of this, and he posted this on his X today. You can see this one was in response to this article posted April 8th, 10:24. The time is now expired, but this is what Harrison Floyd said. And you can follow Harrison Floyd at HW_Floyd, and he could use your support along with other co-defendants who are on X. Here's what he says, Big Fani.
Last week, my attorney and I made it public that District Attorney Willis very likely violated the Maryland Wiretapping Act, which is a felony here in Maryland. As far as we are aware, DA Willis did not have a warrant, and the call was not made in furtherance of law enforcement because I was already in custody. She simply broke the law. The truth is, DA Willis did not like the public backlash she was receiving, and over the course of multiple calls, she tried to find a way out of the mess that she created. She also made the claim that I denied a consent bond, which is a lie. The truth is simple and quite frankly sad. DA Willis is blinded by her upbringing, which was deeply rooted in radical progressive ideology and racism. She has no problem weaponizing her skin or her office to further its aims. While my skin is also black, DA Willis identifies me as white and views me as a defender of white supremacists due to my political beliefs. Deep down, she wants to make me pay for what she feels is a betrayal to black culture. Her words and actions consistently demonstrate a hate for white people and a need to make this case about race. She has disrespected Judge McAfee and defense attorneys because of the color of their skin. It's racist and it's wrong. After my attorneys finish working on the appeal Judge McAfee granted, we will bring a motion asking the court to exercise its judicial power on equal protection grounds. Because racism, in any form, is wrong. I, along with a lot of you, would like a speedy resolution. However, this is more than likely going to take time due to the district attorney's unprofessional, overly aggressive, and untruthful nature. Let me be clear that this is not an effort to delay justice or attack the district attorney because of her race or sex. It's because she actually broke the law in the same manner she's falsely accusing me of. Thank you, and I will see you back in Georgia.
Amazing. So Harrison Floyd standing tall, standing strong, and taking it right back to Big Fani. You want to charge me with the crime for false access to some information? Well, you got false access to my phone call, illegal, and you broke the law. But the question is, of course, what is going to happen here? Is he going to file a civil complaint against her, citing Maryland statute, saying that there was a breach of his civil liberties because he has a right to privacy and she invaded that by illegally recording him? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. But, of course, the bigger hit would be a felony charge, a felony referral, right? Harrison Floyd, his lawyer, they go over, they submit a complaint or contact the police department, right, and say, hey, I've been the victim of a crime. Here's what happened. Let's file a report. We'd like to turn that into a prosecutor, talk to somebody, maybe they know somebody over there, the pre-charging division, locally, if that attorney does, and start talking about the actual prosecution of Big Fani in any way that might result from being the victim of a crime there in Maryland. Now, is that going to happen? Okay, is another prosecutor going to prosecute another prosecutor in a competing district? And is the prosecutor in Maryland a red prosecutor or a blue prosecutor, or what's the situation? I don't know. But the likelihood that, that happens, I think, is probably low in terms of criminal complaints, because it's kind of the prosecutor bro code that you have going on. Same thing you find with officers and other, entities. They just kind of, a cop doesn't get a ticket if he gets pulled over by another cop. Weird. So same thing might happen with Fani. She's not going to get prosecuted because why would another prosecutor prosecute another prosecutor? Doesn't sound likely. But I wanted to share this. Now, hat tip on this one over to Potentially Criminal. He's on YouTube, does great work as a defense attorney. And he posted this one. He's following another case that is there in Fulton County. And I encourage you to go subscribe to his channel. But this is from, I believe it's the Young Thug trial. And I wanted to just share how much of a disaster the Fulton County entire entity is, okay, from top to bottom. It's not just Fani and Nathan and Terrence Bradley getting contracts, right? That's all corrupt as heck. But watch this, okay? This is a DA investigators, okay? So a district attorney hires an investigator. You have the lawyers, you have the cops, and then you have some people who go do investigations, usually former cops, or former detectives, who are investigators, right? Who go do investigations kind of separately and distinct from other, or maybe even working for the government. From, the defense, we hire former cops and stuff, former detectives, but these people are probably still employed. But anyways, an investigator, law enforcement with law enforcement powers, working for Fani Willis. He is trying to get her. This is an investigator talking to a witness. He's trying to date this woman as he's talking to her about her trial testimony, which I guess is like just ordinary in Fulton County, right? Fani indicts her lover, and who knows who else, and there are no consequences to it. She can lie to the judge. She can lie on disclosure forms. He can lie in his divorce, whatever. No one cares. So what if this law enforcement guy just wants to, hit on women out there? He says, he first of all sent her a voicemail. Okay, so we'll listen to this exchange. But this is a law enforcement investigator. Okay, this is reprehensible. And this type of stuff goes on more than you can even imagine. Says, "Good morning, mama." What? Good morning, mama. That's like what you say to your girlfriend. Hey, what's up, baby? Good morning, mama. What's going on? Now, hope you slept well. This is like a detective. Think of him as a detective. Again, don't come at 1:30. I have a feeling the defense will keep this same witness from yesterday all day again today. I'll give you an update at 3 p.m., like they're in the middle of trial, I guess. You will most likely go up tomorrow morning on the stand, right? So, like we're in the middle of trial now. This is an investigator. Call me, please. I'll talk to you soon. All right, that's what that text says. Let's pick it up.
GM, now GM is good morning, right?
Yes.
Good morning, Mama. Hope you slept well.
What's up, mama? Let me turn this volume up a little bit from the investigator for Fani.
Now, is that generally how he would communicate with you, how he would address you?
Objection, babe.
I sustain the question.
Did he address you as Mama on more than one occasion?
Yes.
And if you can go down a bit to the bottom of that page. All right. So on Wednesday, February the 7th, at about 5:48 p.m., he sent you a text message, this investigator for the DA's office, saying, "Call me one more time, then I'm out your here for the night." You remember that?
Yes.
Now, how about the next one? That same night, Wednesday, February 7th, 6:45 p.m., where he says, "Hit me up if you're bored later. We're not going to talk shop."
Oh,
Remember that text message?
what are we going to do?
Yes.
Did you talk to him later on?
Go on a cruise? Where are you
Yes.
going?
Did y'all talk shop?
Yes.
What do you want to talk about?
Going out.
Going out.
Going out as in walking out the door or going out on a date?
A date.
And this is February 7th of 2024, this year, when the investigator for the DA's office is supposed to be talking to you about a case, but in fact is calling you, talking to you about going out on a date. Is that
Crazy, crazy.
Yes.
So,
Is the fact that this employee of the district attorney's office was trying to date you come into your mind as you're thinking about whether you have to come in here and testify or not?
Yes.
so a law enforcement officer that has the power of the state is using the power of the state to do an investigation into this woman. What are you doing? What do you know? You're going to come in and testify. And would you like to go out with me? So what does she say, right? Talk about improper pressure. Fani's investigator, this is her office. So we were having conversations about how can the Fani disqualification proceedings spill over and explode the whole stinking office. And we're watching more indicia of the corruption, right? I'm not necessarily saying that Fani and Nathan Wade's conduct has come over here, but we're seeing a pattern, aren't we? And all the defense attorneys are going, oh my gosh, maybe they're all indicting each other. Maybe all the Fanis and Nathans are getting around jousting each other at 4 a.m. and then lying to everybody about it. So they start looking, okay, well, let's see these people's tech. They start digging into it. It is so disgusting. It's so reprehensible. And as a defense attorney, man, I've seen a lot of this actually. I've seen people say, is it normal for an officer to text me this? Generally, very attractive people who are getting that, right? And it's weird. They get text messages at 3 a.m. It's disgusting. Anyways, so that's going on. It's in Fulton County. Insane. insane jurisdiction, but that's what's happening now. I guess it's par for the course. Everybody just can sleep with whomever they want. Nobody has to tell the truth about anything. And maybe there's no consequences. In fact, maybe Fani will hire that investigator, give him a promotion, give him a whole division or something. So, all right, this is the official Fani store. So because Fani is doing such a great job in Fulton County, and people are definitely not dropping dead in their jails, and they have total control of their cases. The Trump case is on track. We have the Young Thug trial is on track. They're doing a great job over there as well. What do we have, Fani? All of her extra time and efforts, she launched a merch store, right? Maybe she'll start a YouTube channel too. Says here, Fani T, go T. Here's what Fani has come out. Now it's interesting what we have here. There's a lot of options. This is the first time I'm looking at it. I heard you were looking for me. Okay, so this is kind of the Kool-Aid shirt. Remember, she came busting in. Oh, yeah, I'm ready to testify. And here's what it has: her picture on the back with her signature. Oh, my gosh. This is the official store, right? So this is not a fan store. So this is literally from Fani, right? Her office, I guess, put this together. It's the official store. Maybe her campaign put this together. Is this her campaign? I don't see anything about a campaign on here. Like, I was going to say, okay, well, maybe it's a campaign thing, but it doesn't say Fani 2020 or anything. So I guess, is she getting all of the money from this? So she's just going to probably convert it to cash, right? And throw it in her mattress. Yeah. So I don't think it's a campaign event thing. I think it's the official Fani store. It's a Printify store. And this is her Kool-Aid shirt. So she's raising money and probably just going to pocket all this cash because she thinks she's doing such a great job. Now, what's curious, could she even wear any of these clothes? Like, could she actually wear these? In terms of sizing, I'm asking. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if, like, I'm not sure. So here's another sweater that she has. Women belong where decisions are made. Yeah. What? Okay, let's see what the size guide looks like. Width, 5XXL, 33 inches. I don't know. That's probably questionable. That's questionable, but at least they have 5XXL. They'll probably run out of those. Triple XL. That's good. Oh, only triple XL. Those are probably sold out. All right, so let's see. That's a t-shirt. They've got some Grey Goose wine tumblers for Fani's Grey Goose, probably going in here. 420. Oh, 2024. Oh, okay. I thought that said 420, which would be appropriate for Fani's office with her Grey Goose and her cruises. Here's one, Team Fani. There better be a fanny pack, right? Like, there has to be a fanny pack. She did a fanny pack, clearly. You want a mattress? Oh, gosh. You want this on your bed? Oh, what is this for? Oh, it's probably for adult activities. Put that on the mattress before Nathan comes over. Oh, gross. Fani, that's disgusting. A love towel? Oh, that's disgusting. Why would she put that on this website? This is a family show. Okay, we can't look at that one anymore. She's got a candle to cover up the smell. Afterwards, as soon as Nathan leaves, you got to air that house out. It's disgusting. It smells like corruption. So you got to air out the whole stinking place. Light up those in every room. Stinky. There is a noxious odor, so that's to get rid of the noxious odor, which is good. I think that's appropriate. Okay, what else? Integrity matters, the button. Okay, so we got the Integrity Matters button for people who have zero integrity at all, along with hats and a book and her daddy, her Black Panther father. That's nice. Okay, great. So, all right, that's the Fani store. And so don't everybody run over there at once and load up. Golly, that was rough. All right, so that's the Fani store. Oh, all right. A legacy of strength and justice. There is a fanny pack. I missed it. Rob, you almost missed the key thing. There it is. That's the fanny pack. And it looks, it looks very fanny as it is. Not much you can fit in there. Not much cash you can squeeze in there. All contributions. Okay, so here's what she says. All purchases will be recorded as contributions to the campaign. Okay, that's what I was wondering. So that's how she's getting away with it. Okay, just fun. I thought they'd put that at the bottom there, a campaign contribution or something like this. So there it is. Some details. It does go to re-elect Fani. So if you buy a fanny pack, you can help support her. And that will, I guess, help her get reelected. It also includes a back zipper, an inside zipper pocket, and 3 card holders, which you don't need because you carry cash. Okay, so that's what it looks like. The Fani official store is out. And, of course, if you want to go get your Fani gear, you know where to go. So, my friends, we're going to, of course, be continuing to cover this one. Fani has been warned. Next steps over to Harrison Floyd to take some action on this. He said that he would. He posted a video about this today. And of course, we'll see what those next steps are as we continue to support him. We hope that you do as well. Make sure you are following Harrison Floyd and all the other co-defendants who are out there defending themselves against Big Fani's insane prosecution. We, of course, will be here continuing to cover this and more, my friends. Thank you for joining us as we do. Thank you so much for subscribing wherever it is you're watching this. Thanks for inviting a friend or family member over while we go live. We got great links down in the description below, including our members only community where we do live streams in the morning. We do Saturday streams, after parties, watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We'd love to have you join us. We'll see you back there and back here on the next one. All right, my friends. Now, we're not done with Fani Land yet. We still have to see what she is saying in response to Trump's appeal. Let's get right to it. Fani Willis does not want Trump's appeal to move forward. Now she's pleading and begging with the Court of Appeals to not accept it. Remember, the way this works in Georgia is from the lower court, the defense needed to get permission from Judge McAfee to appeal this to the higher level. He has granted them that, but now it's up to the Court of Appeals in Georgia to accept the appeal. And of course, this is about Big Fani Willis's disqualification. And she does not want this disqualification to even be accepted. So we're not in the Court of Appeals yet. We're still knocking on the door, trying to see if the court will let us in. And so Fani submitted this, and some people are wondering why she submitted it, saying, well, if this disqualification situation is so settled and so clear, then what's your concern? Like, just don't even respond to this. And the Court of Appeals should reject it, right, Fani? So let's go into her brief. Big Fani Willis sends this one in to the Court of Appeals, state of Georgia, not wanting Trump's appeal to be accepted. She says this is the brief of the Honorable Fani Willis, Office of the DA. And here's what she's telling the Court of Appeals as she attempts to keep this review out. Fani says, all right, Court of Appeals, says Donald Trump and the co-defendants, they seek interlocutory review of the Superior Court on their motion to dismiss this case. And of course, remember, in a criminal case, normally we wait, if this is the beginning and this is the end, normally we wait till the end after the conviction to take it up on appeal. But Trump is saying, we're going to stop this case right here. We want to appeal this right now, because if Fani Willis is on this case, it's going to jeopardize not only this portion of the case, Trump has already been indicted from a corrupt prosecutor, but it will also continue to taint the rest of the case with a noxious odor from Fani Willis. And so Willis is saying the trial court called McAfee had an evidentiary hearing, lasted several days. Fani, the Kool-Aid gal, came in. Ultimately, the trial court found the evidence insufficient, saying there was no actual conflict, and declined to dismiss the indictment. Now, McAfee also permitted the prosecution to proceed under the direction of Fulton County DA's office after Nathan Wade went away. She said only, it's bad, but if one of you leaves, it's not that bad. So there being no error by the trial court, this presentation is only Donald Trump being dissatisfied with the trial court's proper application. And because the applicants have wholly failed to carry their burden, the Court of Appeals should decline this mid-trial, this mid-pretrial appeal. Fani says the court will grant leave to appeal the order where these indicia have been met. So we can hear the appeal when the issue is dispositive, meaning if it's settled, it will settle the case. Like if this one issue about Fani's disqualification, if she is disqualified, will it be dispositive? Will it result in the case being dismissed? The order appears erroneous and will cause a substantial error at trial. And 3, we want precedent to be established. So with those factors, Fani's going to give us some analysis. She says the trial court found that Donald Trump, right, she's quoting McAfee here, saying McAfee said that Trump has failed to demonstrate that Fani's conduct has impacted or influenced the case to Trump's detriment, which is a total cop-out. Okay, we had a level 5 gasket blown here when we read that because the entire case was born out of a corrupt Nathan Wade birth. Their little love child is this RICO case. And that little love child is, not long for this world because it was birthed out of a corrupt precedent, right? And that makes the entire thing invalid. It's fruit of the poisonous tree, to use a better analogy. The fact that Trump has been prosecuted means that he has been essentially victimized by the process, and it was not created from a just beginning. Now, Fani continues saying, despite this, Trump first insists that the trial court must have erred and that the error is a structural one that affects Trump's due process rights. And so Fani says, as we're going to show, there was a factual basis for McAfee's ruling, and error is just no more here. It's just disagreement from Trump. Dissatisfaction is not a basis for granting an appeal or a reversal, and so you should not accept this. So here is what Fani says in response to Trump. And if you missed the Trump brief, we read that here previously in a prior video. But saying here, citing public comments made by DA, Trump contends that Fani engaged in forensic misconduct. That was her church speech. Why, God? Well, it's because you were sleeping with him. That's why. Given the trial court's factual findings, which are supported by the record, the trial court correctly ruled that they did not engage in disqualifying forensic misconduct. I'm going to rehash a lot of the same arguments we've already seen. There are 2 generally recognized grounds for disqualification. One is conflict of interest, and the other is forensic misconduct. Now, while not expounding on other forms of misconduct, it needs to be of such egregious nature as to require disqualification. And this court has recognized this, that the touchstone of due process is fairness of the trial, okay, not culpability of the prosecutor, which actually supports her disqualification. The idea is that Fani Willis, we don't care if she actually was corrupt. She was, clearly, but we're not going to measure the degree of that corruption. The appearance of it alone is enough, because we don't want to get into their culpability. But if the even appearance of it, without getting into how often they indicted each other at the Fani condo, we want to make sure the trial is considered to be legitimate. So that's what we look at. Now, that would support her disqualification. So she says, mindful of these goalposts, McAfee made extensive factual findings about Fani's public comments, and he said her comments were not sufficiently egregious to require disqualification. He also said the comments did not deny Trump an opportunity for a fundamentally fair trial, even though she tainted the jury pool with her disgusting, noxious odor. She says, first here, Your Honor, Court of Appeals, why you should reject this. The trial court found that Fani's comments concern either the office's conviction rates, the charges in the indictment, the procedural posture of the case, the need for the importance of the investigation, or personal anecdotes. No, clearly she wasn't talking about the defendants, even though we know she was. Insofar as Fani delivered a speech at a local church The trial court concluded the speech, quote, did not cross the line because it failed to name any defendant, right? She didn't say Trump is a racist. But she did speak right after Ashley Merchant filed the Michael Roman motion, and so she was prompted clearly by that. Now, it did not disclose sensitive or confidential evidence. It did not address the merits of the indicted offenses to move the trial in the court of public opinion. Yes, it did. She called them racists and bigots and said that they were oppositional to God's will, like they were demonic. And further, the case is too far removed from jury selection for any actual prejudice. And so enough time will go by that it won't be so bad. So these findings are all amply supported by the record and not clearly erroneous. And further, the applicants, Trump, they don't challenge the court's factual findings, and so they're sustained. Now, the trial court also noted that Fani's comments that individuals were, quote, playing the race card, and that her references came to 3 races of different prosecutors. Remember, she said, why are they targeting the black man? And he said, well, it's not because he's black. It's because you slept with him and he's your special prosecutor that you went and hand selected. Although the trial court found that the effect was to cast racial aspersions at the decision to file the motion to disqualify, it's no surprise the court still found no basis to disqualify Fani. Factual passing references of the various races of members, that's not what that was. Factual passing references. It wasn't like she was just like, oh yeah, you know, Nathan Wade, you remember him, the black guy? No. She was singling out race, making it the whole point of her lecture. Hardly the type of egregious commentary that warrants disqualification. And a comment suggesting that individuals were playing the race card is too vague. And so that doesn't support disqualification either. They say we had days of evidence here and testimony. It failed to disclose anything like a calculated pretrial plan. They haven't identified any public statements. No showing of Fani to wield any improper influence over this other than the entire speech where she's corralling the minds, right? That speech got passed out all around Fulton County. It was replayed in the media over and over and over again. Now, while the trial court noted that the precedent is sparse, it did look to Williams for guidance, saying, if I only have Williams to rely on, then I can't disqualify her. This case is no different. And so Williams is controlling, and you don't need Court of Appeals, right? You don't need to review any of this. Williams is great. Williams was the right conclusion. They say next Donald Trump claims that Fani exhibited forensic misconduct. Why? She lied in her affidavit. Now, as the applicant acknowledges, the trial court made no findings that could support that claim, but we know better. Remember, Nathan Wade's affidavit said their relationship started early 2022. Now, Robin Yurdy said it started 2019 during a judicial conference. That was also supported by Terrence Bradley in his text messages to Ashley Merchant before he suddenly got cold feet and backed out. Now, this court should therefore summarily reject this argument, says Fani. He did not make any findings about this because he did not want to call Fani a liar. He couldn't. Now, as the fact finder on the motion to disqualify, the trial court is the final arbiter. And so naturally, the court cannot make factual findings anew. And so you should consider, right, McAfee, he considered Fani Willis's testimony. He considered Nathan Wade's testimony, but he said that there was no lie. And so if you find it differently, then you're invading and changing the facts that were found at the lower court, and you can't do that, which is why that should be rejected. Now, if you apply any evidence standard to the record, McAfee did not abuse its discretion in denying their motion to disqualify. The question is whether Fani has a disqualifying personal interest in the prosecution. Now, after the hearing, there was an intense examination. They detailed Fani and Wade's expenditures, examined how they hired, noted the terms of the contract, the salary, all the financial gain, and ultimately, McAfee, like a weenie, again, determined that Fani was not greatly or pecuniarily interested in the prosecution because she wasn't going to get like a bonus if Trump got convicted. But remember, if Nathan Wade said, hey, baby, hey, mama, you got to dismiss this case because there's no case here, his contract's over. He gets no more money. She's his lover. So he can't pay for her to go on cruises, nor will he have the time when he's actually working somewhere else. So she had an absolute monetary interest in this prosecution from the very beginning, but McAfee's a weenie and just didn't, find that. So the DA was not financially motivated. Yes, she was. And the record affirmatively disproved the allegation that she sought to prolong the case, given the attempts to prevent delays in the prosecution, because she waited until August of 23. This is such a ridiculous thing. And McAfee knows better than this. Okay, it was one of the more pathetic parts of his opinion, where he said Fani is racing to get to trial. And we say, yeah, because she waited until 2023 to file. She has to get it done before the election. She delayed. She created pre-indictment delay, hired her lover, paid him for 2 years before she even indicted him, and then raced. So McAfee started the timeline inappropriately. Now, these sound findings by Fani lacked any personal stake, and so they negate the conflict. And lastly, McAfee correctly determined that no appearance of impropriety, the appearance alone, warranted her disqualification, and they remedied it by just getting rid of one of the bank robbers. Saying, turning to this issue, McAfee determined that there was no showing of a violation in any way of their due process rights. And he went a step further, saying based on evidence, we could not determine based on evidence when their relationship became romantic, which is such a joke. Even assuming for the sake of argument that Wade's continued involvement in the prosecution would have produced an appearance of impropriety, the trial court allowed for his withdrawal. The court has sanctioned the same remedy for appearance. And so this case is no different. Setting aside whether Wade's removal from the case was in fact necessary, he withdrew from representation hours after the trial court issued its order, and Fani accepted it. And so it's done. Like, we did what they asked us to do. We're done. He's gone. You can't reverse that. We're not bringing him back. And so accordingly, they properly exercised their inherent authority in McAfee's courtroom. There is no impropriety, and there's no basis for an interlocutory mid-process appeal. And so, the applicants, having failed to carry their burden as to their request, the state of Georgia says that you should reject Donald Trump's appeal and the other co-defendants' appeal, signed by the newest addition to the team, F. McDonald Wakeford, who is, just so we know, I believe a white guy, that's how Fani keeps track of these people. So we'll just confirm, we'll work with her naming conventions here. So I think she brought him out. I don't know if she's sleeping with him yet or not, or what's going on. But John Will Wooten and Alex Burnick are also on this case. What's interesting is we don't see Anna Cross anymore. Where did Anna Cross go? Gone with the wind. No one can find her. Signed by F. Scott McDonald, sent over to all the co-defendants. So we'll see what the Georgia Court of Appeals does. Right now, it's on their docket. We're waiting for them to issue a ruling, and then we'll see where this goes. And we'll expect full appellate briefs, if they do accept it, from the Trump defense and from Fani's useless government. And so, my friends, we'll be here continuing to cover the Fani saga and the rest of the Trump prosecutions and 2024 election litigation. And I hope you join us as we do. Thank you for subscribing and for liking this video and for inviting a friend or family member to come over here and join us. Send them a link, send them a short video so they can see what's cooking behind the scene in all of these trials. We got great links in the description below, robertgovea.com if you want to check out the PDFs, our members only community at watchingthewatchers.locals.com, which is where we do live streams in the morning only for our members. We do shows on Saturday, and we have a great community there. We'd love to have you join us. So come check us out, watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We'll see you over there and back here on the next one. All right, my friends, now we're leaving Faniland. And we are going to New York because this is a doozy. We have had some serious questions about Judge Merchan and his daughter. And Trump's team assembled a beautiful recusal motion that even goes through her Twitter. So let's take a look at what's inside. Donald Trump and his defense file a motion obliterating Judge Merchan and his daughter. We know the daughter, Lauren, was somebody who has been raising a ton of money for Democrats, has a lot of animosity against Donald Trump. And the question is, does Judge Juan Merchan and him protecting her at every single turn implicate him and his judicial bias? Answer, of course, is yes. And Trump is saying the same. He filed this major recusal motion. Previously, we just had the pre-motion, just about a page. This is 37 pages plus 100+ page supplemental that has exhibits and more, including the judge's daughter's X account and all her Twitter posts and so on. Now, it's not just us saying that this looks good. It's also a retired federal judge. This woman says, yeah, there is serious problem and bias in this courtroom. And so let's just get right into it. Taking a look at the Trump recusal motion filed in the Supreme Court of the state of New York. This is Alvin Bragg's prosecution against Donald Trump. And this is President Trump's recusal motion. This is President Trump's motion to recuse Judge Juan Merchan. And here is what he says. You can see this beautiful filing. We've got a lot to get to, so we'll hit the highlights. But he tells us, and remember, trial is right around the corner. April 15th is when we're scheduled. And Trump is now saying to the judge, you have to go. You are biased. You are not somebody who can have a fair and impartial trial. Here's why. All right, Judge Juan Merchan. And just to be clear, he's sending this to the judge, to Judge Juan Merchan in the criminal case that is being prosecuted against him. He says, all right, Juan, President Trump respectfully submits this motion and this affirmation, and we're seeking your recusal. Here's why. Your daughter, Judge Lauren Merchan, has a direct financial interest in these proceedings. Why? Well, she has an ownership stake in Authentic Campaigns. Now, based on public data, Authentic, which services exclusively Democrats, is the number 21 ranked vendor in the country for the 2024 election. Isn't that curious? Now, in 2019, Lauren, the judge's daughter, made public statements during a podcast that we played here at a previous video, with your honor, that reflect bias against President Trump from the speakers in that exchange, and we'll get into that more. But consistent with that conversation, President Biden and Vice President Harris are long-term clients of Authentic. Those are Trump's opponents. And Lauren, along with many other politicians and entities that are actively campaigning and advocating against Trump right now. Now, at least 6 of Authentic's clients used fundraising solicitations that referenced this case around the time of the indictment. So, just to be clear, Judge Juan Merchan, we're going to say Judge Merchan is here. He is prosecuting Trump, or allowing the prosecution to go on. We've got Authentic Campaigns, which is serving the Democrats. So we have all these entities here. And Authentic is writing about the judges. So Authentic is writing about the judge's case in their support of the Democrats, right? So we have this connection between all 3 of them. Now, President Trump's arraignment and following the court's denial of Trump's recusal motion. So she just puts it in her newsletter. She's like, oh, perfect. Authentic's clients dispersed more than $18 million to the company between the return of the indictment and present. It is industry practice that Authentic would receive percentages based on the funds raised and the recipient engagement. And Ms. Merchan had an ownership stake and a leadership role in the company, all while this case is pending. In August of 2023, the court ruled that Trump's recusal motion was based on remote and speculative arguments. We dispute that. It's clear that this motion cannot be disposed of so easily. Judge, Trump is now the presumptive nominee, leading contender in 2024. His success in the primaries, which followed the court's ruling, has cemented his status as a political target of Authentic and of Ms. Merchan, Lauren, and their clients. It's now official. He's going to the presidency. Now, while that appears to be consistent with the company's political views, the more important consideration for purposes of this motion is that Authentic, the judge's daughter's company, benefits reputationally. And they make more money by targeting Trump. For example, in February and March of this year, Authentic actively marketed its services using its connections to Joe Biden and to Kamala, as well as other graphics and other content that derided President Trump. Now, additional recent developments also support this filing. Your Honor, when you talked to the AP, you participated in a press briefing, in an interview at a high level talking about this case and how hard you were preparing for trial. Based on a separate recent statement by the Office of Court Administration, who is playing PR for his daughter, they came out. The judge used the court administration to say Miss Mercan apparently deleted her X account that contained all the bad posts against Trump last April. That's weird. Now, that's the same month that Your Honor solicited an ethics opinion about recusal. And in that letter, you declined to disclose the recusal letter to the defense or the public. This judge is so corrupt. We've played here how this judge is not opening the caseload, the docket, so that we can see anything. And apparently that's pretty standard in New York. But this, of course, is a case of national importance. Trump is also gagged, so Trump can't talk about this case. So we don't get to see anything except what the judge wants us to see. Now, the suspicious timing of the alleged decision by Ms. Mercan to delete the X account means that maybe you told her to do that. So you might, judge, be covering up for your daughter. You sent an ethics opinion, a request. Hey, this happens all the time. Attorneys, judges call. Hey, I've got this situation. Can you help me? They look into it. They say, yeah, Rule 5.1 says you can't do that. Oh, good to know. Thanks. So he calls. He gets an ethics opinion at the same time she deletes her account. Isn't that nice? So did they talk about that? Hey, honey, got a notice back from the courts. You got to do something about that X account where you're ripping on the president because I'm about to sentence him into oblivion. Your Honor also recently issued and expanded a gag order that doesn't let us talk about her, even though it is a legitimate public criticism and its evidence is included in some of this motion. The court also permitted Alvin Bragg to refrain from publicly filing important submissions and other evidence and other email communications in violation of Trump's right to a public trial. So Bragg is also filing stuff under seal or under the public docket, so we can't see it. Having been repeatedly assigned to cases relating to President Trump and his business, including 2 rounds of plea negotiations with Weisselberg, the prosecution of Steve Bannon, the court is now making extrajudicial statements about this case. So, in other words, Mercan has been on all of these, and he's allowing the people to proceed under the cover of darkness when it suits their political agenda. And this threatens President Trump with contempt, and worse, if he points out the court's daughter's conflict. And so you're covering everything up and then gagging the president and threatening him with jail and prison if he even speaks out about it. This current situation is patently unjust. Todd Blanche, writing for Trump's defense, says, Judge 1, your interest in these proceedings, by virtue of the relationship with your daughter and your daughter's ongoing receipt of commercial and reputational benefits of these manners in which you conduct proceedings, requires a recusal. There is an actual conflict here. There is an unacceptable appearance of impropriety. This is easily illustrated by the fact that it would be completely unacceptable to most New Yorkers if the judge presiding over these proceedings had an adult child who worked at WinRed or MAGA Inc. What if the judge's daughter worked at MAGA Inc. or WinRed? There would be a national meltdown. Okay, they're already melting down over Judge Cannon. Imagine if Trump's judge had a child who supported Trump aggressively on X. They'd be melting. The logic of this conclusion is further demonstrated by the fact that Lauren is not simply a salaried employee at Authentic, okay? She's not answering phones over there, but profiting from the promotion of a political agenda that is hostile to President Trump. She is an executive, has included fundraising solicitations based on this case as well. Accordingly, Trump requests that you recuse yourself, Your Honor. Now, here's some background on this where we get some good tweets. Here's the background on Lauren. Judge's daughter, Lauren, beginning in at least 2018, Miss Mercan worked at Authentic. She was the director of digital advertising. February 2019, she started working as the director of digital persuasion. And guess who that was for? Kamala Harris. In 2019, Authentic made Miss Mercan a VP. They market themselves as a full-service digital agency for nonprofits and campaigns that unleashes the power of the internet to create lasting and inclusive change. Oh, gosh. In connection with the announcement, Authentic stated Mercan would, quote, continue to manage our kick-ass ads team, and we would take on a larger role in managing and growing our company in the upcoming years. Now, we played this clip last week. During a June 2019 podcast, Miss Mercan, Lauren, attributed the following statement to Your Honor. My dad said, I hate that politicians use Twitter. It's so unprofessional. That's not how a politician should behave themselves. And that was on June 2019. So around the time Trump was a president. Miss Mercan explained Lauren during the podcast that she responded to the judge saying, yeah, I think there are a lot of instances where it is not used in like, you know, when our president tweets anything that he thinks and like, that's not what he should be using it for. So the judge and the daughter ragging on Trump, showing their bias on podcasts before the case is even brought. Now, at the conclusion of Harris's campaign in December, Authentic made Mercan a partner and part owner now. Following Miss Mercan's promotion in 2020, they named Campaigns and Elections, a magazine probably, named Miss Mercan, quote, a rising star affiliated with the Democrats. Now, the write-up concerning the award credited Miss Mercan with setting new benchmarks and winning elections and doing great groundbreaking work for clients like Kamala and Shifty Shift Pencilneck, who has been censured. They should have added this. We'll have to tell Todd Blanche. Anytime you're going to quote Adam Schiff, we have to include just an asterisk. Is it censured? Yeah. Censured for Shifty. Total loser. By August 2023, Miss Mercan had become president of Authentic. Man, she holds it. Shifty got censored, loser. On January 20th, the X account with username Lauren M426, which appears to have been used by Lauren, posted the following image of Trump leaving the White House on January 20th. This is being submitted by Trump's defense, right? So this is a statement that they are submitting from their investigatory team, that they are swearing, standing behind with their law license. So here is their investigation. Lauren Mercan, Judge Mercan's daughter, posted this on January 20th. Bye! Like a Valley Girl 16-year-old. Bye! All right. So she posted this. No one liked it. One person liked it. And on January 20th, Trump departs the White House for the last time as president after they stole the election. Right. So, okay, that's the daughter of the judge. Now, archived internet data from around that time contains other X posts by Mercan that also reflect hostility towards the president. For example, on March 27th, the director of communications, or they have other examples, but they take us back to more recent times. They say on March 27th, the director of comms for New York's court administration, they issued a public statement that Miss Mercan Lauren had, quote, abandoned and deleted her X account approximately a year ago. Around the time of the announcement, the X account indicated that the user joined in April 2023 and included a picture of President Trump behind bars. Interesting. There's Lauren. There's Trump behind bars. Daddy is running the case. Daddy has the opportunity to literally sentence Trump to jail and prison. These posts are protected. Joined April 2023. Trump's behind bars. Now, within days, the account was modified to include a photograph of VP Harris, but it still indicated that the user had joined in April 2023. So she locks down her account, changes the photo. Better get rid of Trump in prison in my X account. Now, more recently, the photo of Kamala was also removed, and now it indicates that the user joined last month in March 2024. Isn't that interesting? So maybe deleted the whole account and then somebody else snagged that name, right? Maybe deleted it and then she reclaimed it maybe. Who knows what happened? But that feels like it is her doing, changing these photographs to cover up her clear bias. Now, as of April 2nd, 2024, the list of featured clients on Authentic's website included a bunch of stuff. Biden, Harris, Hochul, Shifty Shift, censored. Jeffries, Goldman, Dan Goldman, liar. Underwood, Lee, Senate Majority PAC, Democrat PAC, okay? It's like the whole stinking DNC. Look at all these people. Just the worst of the worst. Now, based on this work, Authentic was named to 2023 Political Consultants Power 100, doing a great job. New York's most effective campaign advisors by working with Jeffries and Hochul. Now, currently, they are the number 21 ranked vendor on disbursements that it has received, getting a lot of money. Now, how does Lauren get connected to Trump's political opponent in 2024? Says, well, in connection with the 2020 election, Harris's presidential campaign paid $4.8 million to Authentic, more than the campaign paid anyone else. Authentic's subsequent work for Biden and Harris used Facebook, and they targeted Facebook ads for Joe for president. Lauren described Authentic's first of its kind to use AI as a case study on their website, right? So here's what she posted. Hey, we did a great job. We reached 200,000 new undecided voters in swing states. We engaged 15,000 undecided voters in Arizona, and we surpassed the margin of victory. So maybe she's responsible for this. Now, more recently, in mid-2024 March, Authentic promoted its connection to Joe Biden on its website. Authentic wrote this, looks like maybe Facebook or LinkedIn, says, Kat Stern led our paid media team and our mobilization efforts to win. We miss her here, but we're so happy that the Biden campaign is in good hands. The judge's daughter is literally working for the Biden campaign. Oh, I'm sorry. She left there, but they were working for her. So she left Authentic and is now working for Biden. Also, Schiff. Okay, so she has worked for Biden, and then people are now going to work for Biden. So Congressman Schiff, censured, God, look at that tiny little neck there, says in 2023 and 2024, Authentic repeatedly promoted its work for Shifty. Here's what they posted December 2023. Authentic has also posted a testimonial from Schiff. He says they've helped me build a great digital program, and they helped me, have a bunch of brain dead Democrats vote for me. He paid them $9 million in disbursement. Congressman Underwood, Congresswoman Underwood, she raised a bunch of money for them, $4.4 million for them. Senate Majority PAC, same thing here. Senate Majority PAC for the Democrats paid $6 million to Authentic, the judge's daughter. House Majority, how much did they get paid? Well, we don't know, but 9 million in completed video views, and all of those people who are all clearly anti-Trump people who are funneling money to the daughter of the judge who's going to theoretically imprison Trump, which is just crazy. She's a co-owner of this company now. Here is the fundraising that they've done. This indictment in this case was returned back on March 30th last year. On the same day, clients of Authentic sent emails that specifically reflected this case. Senate Majority, a client, says, breaking news, Trump's been indicted by Manhattan. Congressman Schiff, the Manhattan DA's office has indicted Trump for the first ever indictment of a former American president, the dumbest case ever. The House Majority PAC for the Democrats, Trump was indicted. And Schiff posted on X, soliciting contributions based on the indictment. And so these are literal, case-specific solicitations by Authentic, and therefore Miss Mercan's clients. They continued. Schiff sent out 2 more emails talking about the Trump indictment, and maybe you can chip in a few bucks, says Shifty. One said, never before has a president been indicted. Trump will finally have his day in court. They all jumped on this. Congresswoman Underwood, Jeffries jumped on it. They all started using this trope, no one's above the law, except Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Mike Pence, and the rest of them. On April 21st, Congresswoman Lee sent something out. Here are some of the fundraising solicitations. On April 3rd, the day before Trump's arraignment, Schiff sent a barrage of solicitations on Facebook. Okay, so this is like Authentic doing the work, right? Authentic runs the Facebook campaigns. Schiff says they created a great digital powerhouse for me. And look at all these posts. Hey team, the Manhattan DA just indicted Trump, which is Lauren's father's case. Manhattan DA just indicted Trump for money he paid to Stormy. Here's another ad. Let's be clear, Trump is dangerous. He just got indicted. All orchestrated by Lauren, whose daddy is handling the case. More fundraising emails. Schiff solicited a new thing via Facebook. Here's Schiff posting about this. If you're wondering what's going to happen with Trump's indictment, listen to me now. What's going on with the indictment? Part 2. More Facebook ads. Right, Trump's raising money. Let's fight back. He's been indicted. He's been indicted. He's been indicted. Who's writing these ads? It's not Adam Schiff. It's Lauren's company. They're running all of these. Here's some more from Schiff. I warned everyone that Trump would weaponize his indictment for political gain. But no, now Lauren's, her team is typing this crap up. So here is a post-recusal motion. Fundraising solicitation. So they're saying, we already recused you and you're still getting money. On May 31st, 2023, last year, Trump filed a motion to recuse the judge based on Miss Mercan's role at Authentic. Now, we learned about it from the media, not from you. Of course, you denied that motion later. Now, following that ruling, Schiff made a post on TikTok talking about the case. Still, your Honor's daughter's client. Senate Majority PAC also kept making funding requests as well. And the court made public statements about this case. On March 17th, the AP published an article saying the judge had participated in an interview with the media last week. Judge said, I'm not going to talk about the case, but then repeatedly did so. He reportedly stating that, talking about this case, getting ready for the historic trial is intense. The court is striving to make sure I've done everything I could to be prepared and to make sure that we dispense justice. There's no agenda here. We want to follow the law. We want justice to be done. And then they use the court administration office as a PR arm to go and clean up the Laura Mercan mess. They went out there, right? That's not the judge. Why is the judge speaking for his daughter? She's an adult female who's like 30-something years old. So here's the law. They say, look, Your Honor, we have a right to due process under the law, okay? It means impartial. It means a judge shall not be biased. And here is the law that we're going to hear referenced repeatedly. Section 14 of the judiciary law in New York says, a judge shall not sit as such in or take any part in the decision of an action in which he is interested. Now, to be disqualified, a judge must have an interest in the subject matter of the suit, and the interest does not need to be large, but it does need to be real. Now, we have a lot of rules that govern judicial conduct: fairness, honesty, soundness of character. And a judge must not allow family or other relationships to prejudice them. And a judge shall disqualify himself when the impartiality might be questioned, in particular when it comes to family. Now, in light of these recent developments, this motion is timely. Authentic and your daughter have drawn close connections to Biden, Harris, Shifty, and developed a whole business around this. And she's now a part owner and a president, partner. She's going to gain even more benefits as this trial continues to go on. Financial benefits and reputational benefits, because your daddy is the one who's handling the case. This is demonstrated. Authentic is trying to market itself using social media posts about Trump. It's improper for the court to preside over these proceedings while your daughter benefits both financially and reputationally from the manner in which this case is interfering with Trump's campaign. Under these circumstances, recusal is required. And we have to maintain the integrity of these proceedings as well as the public's trust in them. That's already gone. Now, several developments since you denied our first motion must be revisited. Trump's now the nominee. And there was a lot of shenanigans happening with that X account. Now, to the extent to which these proceedings are interfering with the 2024 election is no longer, as the court previously put it, speculative. Okay, it's actual interference now. Since this court's recusal ruling that you denied earlier, Trump has become the presumptive Republican nominee and the leading candidate in 2024. And what this court is doing is going to impede, literally, Trump's efforts to campaign against Biden. Trump will be bogged down in a 6-week trial, seated there in court while everyone else is running their mouths. Harris and Kamala and Biden, whose status Authentic actively markets, they're going to be using them to generate new clients. And they've already solicited donations based on this case. So in light of these considerations, the May 4th, 2023 ethics opinion, which the court declined to disclose to the defense, you got notice from ethics counsel on this, and you also relied on a factually inaccurate premise. The opinion stated that Ms. Mercan has no interest that could be affected by this proceeding. The opinion stated, "We see nothing in this inquiry to suggest the outcome of the case could have any effect on the judge's relatives or daughter. However, it's now clear Authentic has made money by assisting clients who have literally solicited donations referencing this case." So again, if daddy dismisses the case, then the daughter can't write her emails about it anymore, right? Adam Schiff won't have any posts about it anymore. And Authentic, her reputation might be, in the can. Your dad dismissed the case? What? Against Trump? He precluded Michael Cohen's testimony? He precluded Stormy Daniels' testimony because Michael Cohen's a perjurer? Whatever. No, he's not going to do any of that because it would impact his daughter, and daddy loves his daughter. And you have to say that. Your dad should love your daughter, right? The court's future rule, which is why we say you got to go. The court's future rulings stand to further benefit those who are harming Trump, and Lauren makes some money in the process. Now, we have some new updates about the X account. There are serious questions, and appearances of impropriety must be addressed. Archived internet data suggests that Lauren M426 X account posted messages reflecting hostility against Trump. Now, the defense is currently unable to access the full historical contents of the account. Someone call Elon. But archived data includes telling examples, thus even accepting that Ms. Mercan deleted the account in April. One fair inference from that claim is she tried to destroy the public evidence of animus towards Trump around the time that you wrote, Judge, to get a formal ethics opinion. So they just deleted it. That timing and the appearance of impropriety that it creates cannot be ignored. Now, the account in question also previously included a repost of Authentic's January 2020 announcement that Mercan had just been promoted to partner and part owner. That post is no longer public. Around the time of the court's March 27, 2024 public statement about control of the account, the photo associated was a picture of Trump behind bars. They changed it to a picture as a child, of Kamala Harris as a child, which raises further questions about who's associated in controlling the account. The photograph of Harris was then removed when public scrutiny even increased further, and then the court issued a public statement about the account. The public-facing version of the account now states that they joined in March 2024. So maybe deleted and reset the account, rejoined, whatever. Now, in addition to the court's public statement about this, the AP published an article on March 17th saying you appeared in an interview on this. You said that the court wouldn't talk about the case, but then you went and did an interview. Your Honor reportedly stating that getting ready for this case is intense. The court is striving to make sure I've done everything to be prepared, to dispense justice. There's no agenda here. We want to follow the law. We want justice to be done. That's all we want. Now, based on these reported remarks, the court appears to have discussed its approach to the trial. You've tried to vouch for itself to the public, right? You're trying to say, we're doing a great job here. You disclaimed any bias or just following the law, and you're describing your plans to dispense justice. You don't need to say that if you're actually going to do it. You need to go out there and tell everybody that you're going to do it when people start thinking that you don't have the capability to do that. So this raises questions under New York law. A judge shall not make any public comment about a pending or impending proceeding. Now, there's an exception to this, as the people suggested, but there's not one for acknowledging intense preparation. You don't get to talk about that. Now, the court has also denied Trump's motions for sanctions based on evidentiary submissions that are still not public because everything is being buried. Now, despite Trump's constitutional right to a public trial, and has permitted ex parte submissions by Bragg. So Bragg gets to send stuff directly to the judge that Trump can't see. Normally you copy the other side on all your communications. Permitting Bragg to operate in a modern star chamber in order to suit their politically motivated objectives is even more problematic when compared to the gag orders. You also expanded your gag order, which is an unlawful prior restraint, stopping Trump from talking about your daughter. Now, under these circumstances, Trump is seeking to defend himself. Now, the people are wrong that the court's statements are about a broad commitment to impartiality. No, the court's statements are relevant not only to appearances of impropriety, but also to Trump's now pending adjournment motion, as the statements arguably included efforts by the court to position itself favorably with jurors and augmented any concerns that potential jurors might have about jury in this case, whether it will be intense. So for all these reasons, due process requires your recusal. Now, your daughter's activities are unacceptable. She's a president and part owner. They're ranked number 21 in the country. They consult with Democrats, all Democrats, and they're rivals of Trump. They've made millions of dollars. They're going to make more money as these cases go on. And it violates Trump's rights. The website for Authentic confirms worked for Harris, Kamala, Shifty, Hakeem, Senate, House. Mercan has worked with literally Joe Biden since at least 2020. The judge's daughter worked with, or you could say for, Joe Biden. Could you imagine if this was reversed? What if the judge's daughter worked for Trump? And Miss Mercan worked for VP Harris. That goes back to 2019. That work has continued during the pendency of this case, literally still working for them. For example, between July 2023 and November 2023, Authentic has gotten $200,000 from Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And the focus of that is the Fight Like Hell PAC, which is to focus on supporting Biden during the reelection. So they're still taking anti-Trump, pro-Biden money. In addition, the client list includes Priorities USA. The same client in April, the same month that Trump was arraigned, Priorities USA says that they're going to spend $75 million in 6 battleground states. And their plan is to remind voters of Biden's impact and reach them when they're online. Now, friends of Kathy Hochul also paid the judge's daughter a bunch of money. They got $27,000 from DAGA PAC, which is associated with the Democrat Attorneys General Association. Oh, Tish James, stinky Bigfoot in New York who takes her shoes off in the courtroom, maybe causing earthquakes. New York Attorney General also in the midst, who has brought a separate and also unlawfully motivated case against Trump. Hochul attacked Trump, calling him a disgrace. Angeron was also involved in the Tish case as well. Hochul has made many claims, and Tish has been using X to taunt Trump. And this is what Authentic does. Wow. So are they saying that she's also working for X? Around the same time, James used the official X account of the New York Attorney General with her little posts. Maybe Authentic is posting those. As accepted as this rhetoric has become in the political sphere, it's no place being driven in a criminal case. Obviously, a political and commercial target Trump is of Mercan and Authentic. As another example, they've also worked for Schiff. Schiff literally led the unconstitutional and failed impeachment of Trump in 2019. They work for Goldman. Schiff rarely lets a week pass where he doesn't mention Trump and his prosecutions. He's one of at least 6 authentic clients who've used this case to make money. Jeffries and others have done the same thing. Here is Schiff's account. Breaking news! Trump has been indicted. My whole reason for existence is better now, says Schiff. Beginning in April, the day before the arraignment, Schiff disseminated a barrage of solicitations on Facebook. After the court denied Trump's recusal motion, he made another TikTok video. This is what they do. They're working for Biden and for Harris. They tout their use of Facebook to create these ad campaigns. And here's how much money they've made. Schiff $9 million, man. Going to the judge's daughter, total of $30 million. $15 million in the 2024 cycle. FEC says that between the filing of the indictment and March and the present, $18 million. So clearly unfair. Here, Authentic has clients who are opponents of Trump. They got paid money. She is literally an immediate relative of you, Your Honor. And the court used the court's facilities to protect your daughter. This shows us you have a bias. This is one of the situations where the courts shall disqualify itself. The commercial and the reputational benefits to Lauren from this court's ruling are manifest. Those benefits have tangible, at the very least in a tangible reputational sense as well. Yeah, and if Trump wins, like if the judge dismisses the case, Trump wins, that's bad for Lauren's business. She needs to be someone who delivers victories. So she needs Trump to lose. One, to raise money, but also to win. If Trump, beats this case, beats the rest of the cases, and is reelected, that's not good for her business. Even if the court concludes that recusal is not required by the state constitutions as it should, recusal is appropriate. While it may not be required based on political affiliations and opinions, she has informed the public the court shares her bias against Trump. And so recusal is necessary. Her strategy here has been lucrative. It's based on communications that are specific to this case. Your Honor is wielding enormous power that are going to incapacitate literally the chief political rival of her clients. The judge has the ability to take out the people who are paying her literal millions. Now, while promoting her own work, Lauren has disclosed statements by the court that reflect bias. On her podcast, she said how the judge hated Trump's tweets, and they're actively promoting Joe Biden and others. There's Joe eating ice cream. Authentic has called attention to the fact that the company has been part of Joe Biden's journey to the White House, right? You need that victory. We helped him get there. We'll help you get there. Hire us. Now they're finding similar type of clients. By December, following repeatedly sending case-specific emails and advertisements, they're ginning up information. Here you go. They're creating ads that are biased against Trump. Within the last 2 months, Authentic has marketed itself through posts that were critical of Trump. In February, they posted these things to Instagram. 2 posts. In early March, Authentic CEO and their company mischaracterized Trump as somebody who doesn't care about our democracy. At the same time, they're doing work for Adam Schiff. Here's another one. We're meeting with voters. Here's Schiff. And they probably created that. Like, Adam's not smart enough to figure that out, so they have to hire experts. Now, the manner in which they're marketing the company has been made worse regarding there are public statements about a conversation with the court. And so this is very improper. They say for the following foregoing reasons, President Trump respectfully submits that the court must recuse itself as a matter of law under Judiciary Law, Section S14, and that recusal is also appropriate in light of the appearances of impropriety. So actual impropriety and appearances of impropriety, signed and submitted by Todd Blanche and Emil Bove. And these filings are available on blanchlaw.com. And so make sure you grab them and spread them around like wildfire so that everybody can see what the heck is going on out there. And so interesting recusal motion, something that seems pretty solid. And this is an affirmation from Todd Blanche explaining how a lot of this evidence was accumulated. And so that is available on our mind map and will be up at robertgovea.com. But the filing is, as you can see, solid. We have a judge with a daughter who works for the Democrats, literally works for Joe. Just flip that around. Ask yourself if it was a judge working for Trump, if that would be fair. And I would say, no, that does not look appropriate. Okay, let's be real here. All we're asking for is a fair trial in a fair jurisdiction with a fair prosecutor. Problem is, if we had those things, there would not be any trials or prosecutions in the first place, because these cases are totally rigged, as we're watching unfold. Now, here's what CNN had to face, some hard realities from a retired judge who shared this when she was on with Caitlin Collins. This judge's name is Shira Schendelin, retired judge from the Southern District of New York, which is the federal district in New York. We're not in federal court right now. We're in Manhattan Court, in Supreme Court in New York County. And this is what the judge said in response to this recusal filing.
I had the chance to read the motion, and they've put together a composite of issues that would cause me a little bit of pause. And I can explain all the various things that they've put together. The main focus of this motion, as opposed to the previous one a year ago, which the judge denied, is on the daughter's line of work. As you already said, the daughter does work with many high-profile Democratic candidates. She works on their social media. They put out a post, they get contributions. She, as an owner, gets a percentage of those contributions. So there is a statute in New York which says a judge must disqualify himself if a person known by the judge to be within the 6th degree of relationship, and a daughter is the 1st degree, has an interest that could be substantially affected by the outcome of the proceeding. So the question here is this daughter likely to profit, to benefit from the outcome of this proceeding? And you have to understand, it's not actual conduct that's worrisome, it's the appearance to a reasonable person that this judge cannot be fair and impartial given that relationship. So ordinarily, I would think that a benefit financially would be to a spouse because they share the income. This is an independent adult daughter. They don't share income. But according to this statute, the judge must recuse if she would substantially benefit from the outcome. So that's one thing that concerned me. But if you add to that a few other...
They don't have to share the money, but the fact that think about that, right? If you're a father and your daughter is doing very well, you want to support that. You want her to continue to do well. If you exonerate Donald Trump and he rides back into the White House, you don't have a benefit. So the judge shouldn't have to get, actual dollars in the form of a check being deposited into his account. But the fact that his daughter is very happy about this, isn't that a benefit to a father?
The facts that are of concern, at least to me, was the judge's original contribution to President Biden 4 years ago, which he made himself. Very small contribution, $35.
Yeah, I think it was $10, right?
$35, I'm told, $35. A small contribution, but he made it through ActBlue himself on the internet. He did give an interview where he said he wouldn't comment on the case, but then he said he's been intensely preparing and he wants to be fair and impartial, and justice is important. He and his daughter discussed the former president's use of social media, which the judge condemned in that discussion.
Get it, Judge? She's going down the bullet point.
The daughter reported on it.
Let's go.
The Office of Court Administration said the daughter's Twitter account ended a year ago, so any recent posts on that were not from the daughter. Yeah. And I kind of wonder why the Office of Court Administration was defending the daughter. So there, if you put all these together, is my point, it's certainly enough that maybe a reasonable person could have a doubt about impartiality. So I think it's kind of a serious motion. I realize it's 10 days before the trial and don't expect it to be granted.
Yes, I think she's exactly right. So that was some great analysis from that judge. I think really on point. She gave us all of the bullet points that we just talked about, ran through the motion and says, yeah, I think it is reasonable for a reasonable person to take a look at this entire situation and have some questions about it. And maybe the judge will recuse himself. Actually, no, not obviously going to happen. The judge, Mercan, is going to do everything he can to keep this trial scheduled to start 1 week from the day that we're recording this, which is going to be on April 15th. We are going to be here continuing to cover this. Now, Trump has also filed an appeal on the gag. And so we'll be covering that one when we're back here tomorrow. And so hopefully you are subscribed and joining us, because this trial is right around the corner. It's about to pop off on the 15th, and we're going to be covering it as best we can through excerpts and transcripts. And it's going to continue to get, I think, spicier as the days go by. So thank you for subscribing, my friends. Thank you for liking this video. Thanks for sharing our channel or a short video or a short segment with a friend or family member so that they can see what is going on behind the scenes on this case, because this case is going to trial as far as we know. Unless a court of appeals in New York takes it away from them, Mercan is not going to let up on the gas on this one. So we'll be here. Thanks for checking out some of the links down in the description below. We got watchingthewatchers.locals.com, our members only community. We'd love to have you join us. We do streams in the morning where we talk about some other things that we can't squeeze in here on the shows. And we have a great community there. We do Saturday streams and after parties. We'd love to have you come join us. Great way to support the show, connect with other amazing watchers out there, and have some fun doing it. We'll see you over there and back here on the next one. All right, my friends. Well, that is some good ground. And so we have a lot, I think, coming up this week. We've got a lot of activity on the Trump cases as the trial, the clock is counting down. But we got the Bragg case. We got Fani now begging the courts, please don't accept our appeal. And we have Fani Willis now facing an ultimatum from Harrison Floyd saying, recuse yourself or else. We'll see what comes else. And Fani has her merch store with her love towel and her disgusting noxious odor candle. Noxious odor candle. Maybe we'll add one of those in our stores. That it won't, you know, it won't stink. Actually, that would not sell well. Anyways, that is it for us on the day, my friends. Now it's time to hear from you and to see what you have to say about this. I'm so grateful for your donos, your super chats, your great conversation, your witty comments, your unflappable charm, and all the things. Hey, this one, look who's here joining us on Locals. This one came in from Recuse. Says, great news for North Dakota. Rick Becker scores big. Scores big. He is elected as the GOP National Convention delegate. Looks like a good update there from Recuse. Becker for Congress. And thanks for sending that in, Recuse, and supporting us over on the Locals. Hey, it's the Munkets. Tony Hay Munkets is here. It's a beautiful Monday, bringing in Ginger V, Crota Cheese, James X, The World is on Fire is here, and Raul R joining us, courtesy of Tony Hay Munkets. Hey, it's the Munkets. We got Cowboy Rob says, I'm a metalhead, and you have to listen to Crazy Train by Ozzy and sit back and think about where we are today. So appropriate. Yeah, I know how to play Crazy Train on the guitar. No. It's like this. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's it. I think I can still play it today. Only that first part though. Yeah. So what's up, Cowboy Rob? You're right. We are on a Crazy Train. Lady Ice says, got some great picks. Clouds went away at the perfect time for long enough to see the whole thing. That's a heck of an eclipse, man. That's a heck of an eclipse. And Lady Ice, thanks for sending that one in. What a beautiful shot, man. Here's one. We got some good eclipse from Locals. Here's one. Man, that is great. Look at this one from our Locals friends. Woo! That one looks good. That is a serious totality. This one looks like a little like Angeron's bonus torso photo. You know what I mean? All right. Sorry. Hey, Regina's here. Member for 6 months, says happy Eclipse Day. Hope you had a beautiful eclipse, Gina. Thanks for being a member for 6 months, 3 months. And then we got a baby. We got Ike's Girl, a member for 2 months. Still a new baby. Working on it. We're getting there. crawling on up there. Membo for 2 months. Ike's Girl, thanks for supporting us and working our way up there. Dolphin Fan is the man, bringing in new membos. We got Dolphin is bringing in Welshie. Stefan's here. Tina S, Artsy Chick, and L. Welcome aboard from L. Very nice to see you. Thank you, Dolphin Fan is the man, bringing in a new membo. Hey, what's up? Economy Pilot is clipping for us. Economy Pilot in the house says, at this juncture, from Chubby Stubby, Chubby sent this one in on locals, says, at this juncture, one has to wonder if the Black Panther daddy of Fani, of the biggest Fani in Georgia, ever taught his daughter how not to break the law. She's like, wait a minute. Investigators can't hit on witnesses in a trial? Are you sure? It's a disaster there in Fulton. Pritchie is on the YouTube, says, it's nice to be back and watching again. Good to have you, Pritchie. Don't ever leave us again. Just a shame that McAfee folded like a weasel, but so glad the stupid $500 million bond got lowered. Love from the UK. Shout out to our friends in the UK. Good to see you, Pritchie. Glad to have you back. And never leave us. Samo says, hey, what's up, Samo? 3 months and counting. We're on our way to a baby, Sam. Sam, thanks for being a membo. 1/3 of the way there. Great to have you aboard. David York says, hey, how's it going? That's the pair. Working out pair. How's it going? Draw me like you draw your French girls. David York. Good to see you, David. Pritchie bringing in 10 membos. Oh, my goodness. Our friend from the UK bringing in 10 membos. Scott W. Ray T. Johnny Appleseed. Salty Granny's here. Snoopson. Death Devastation. Goofy for Jesus. Michael Peck is here. B. Banks and Francis W. all coming in courtesy of our friend from the UK, Pritchie, in the house. Thank you, Pritchie. Grateful for you. Stop sniffing kids, Joe. Is a membo for 10 months, which means it's a baby plus a month. Joe's probably going to try to sniff that kid. Love your show, Rob. Salt is getting deep. It is getting deep out there. We're going to be wading through it. Going to need salt boots. We're going to need them. Felix is here. What's up, Felix? Says the Democrats are working for the powers and the principalities in the dark heavenly places. Fani is full of the spirit of something. Examine their behavior. Yeah, there is some troubling noxiousness coming from Fani. Hey, more membos from Pritchie. What's up, Pritchie? Thanks for bringing these people in. Zach J's coming in. Misfit News. Kimberlyn R. Jesse W. and Warren M. all coming in courtesy of Pritchie in the house with more membos. Thank you, Pritchie. Rain is here. Says, doesn't having an official store directly mean a conflict of interest in all cases? The exposure from cases directly leads to personal profits. Yeah. I mean, she's making money off not being disqualified. And Judge McAfee just endorsed this behavior. It's wild. Knox is here. Happy Monday, all. The first thing I see is a plastic sheet with Fani's name on it. P.U. Yeah. What is that for? Why does she have... I can't even... Why does she have towels on her bed that you buy at her store? I don't know. We'll see. Says, hope wiretapping charges stick to Big Fani. Yeah, that'd be good in Maryland. Hit her with a couple indictment felonies. Yeah. Pritchie says, a scented candle to get rid of the odor of mendacity. It's true. You got to air out the whole facility, man. You got to air out the whole place when Nathan comes over. Gross. Felix says, fanny packed. I was worried that there wasn't going to be a fanny pack on there, but I missed it when it was there. It was small. It was much bigger. You know, that's the wrong size. We're talking about the biggest fanny in Georgia. That thing should be like a friggin' wheelbarrow. Jennifer says, Rob, Fani's merch store today is next level cringe. It's so much cringe. She's got a fan club there. All the Fulton County people are like, they want that Kool-Aid shirt. Extra larges there. What's up, Cowboy Rob says, I don't know if you're an Ozzy Osbourne fan, but you want to know the state of our nation. Take a look at the lyrics to Crazy Train. Yeah, I mean, I know the song, but I don't know the lyrics because it's Ozzy Osbourne singing them. And I don't know that anybody knows what he says. Do you know what he says? going off the rails on the crazy train. Yeah, so Felix, thank you for that one. She called everyone but herself a racist and guilty in her church speech. She did. Yeah, she did. And said, why, God, why? Cowboy Rob says, isn't the fact that there was a hearing almost enough evidence to show that there is an appearance of impropriety, legally speaking? Yeah, it's kind of like the fact that you had the hearing shows that there's something there. Kind of speaks for itself. There's a concept in the law called res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself, right? It's like it's obvious on its face. Don't even need to have complicated analysis on it. There's some truth to that. Yeah, it certainly feels that way. Felix is here, says racism is taught and her daddy taught her to be racist. Remember that Satan quoted scripture to Jesus after 40 days and nights in the wilderness. Satan knows the Bible. He was there during all the events. Yeah, which is why you got to be careful, right? When the wrong person is lecturing scripture at you, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily on the side of holiness. Let's just leave it there. Roy MC says, wouldn't these defenses of her speech completely destroy her own case against Trump? For anything he said in the speech is on the same grounds. I see what you're saying. Yeah, if Fani can run her mouth and get away with saying whatever she wants, why can't Trump also talk about the election? We got Felix says, opinion is like a posterior orifice. Everyone has one and it stinks. Just like Judge McAfee's. Opinion is, I've heard it a little differently. I've heard it like excuses are like a-holes, you know? Everyone has one and they all stink. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. This old guy says Anna Cross is on an extended cruise on the Red Sea. Well, hopefully she's enjoying herself. You think her and Nathan went off together? He's like, I'm done with Fani. What's up, Anna? Chubby's here. Says, gotta love how Fani's motion to not grant the appeal completely glosses over all the negative things. I was going to bring that point up. Yeah, she didn't mention odor of noxious odor of mendacity, did she? She left that one out. Things that McAfee's ruling actually said and essentially claims that none of that exists. Doesn't McAfee granting the defense the right to appeal his decision pretty much counter almost everything she said in her motion? Yeah, I think her motion was kind of unnecessary, right? She just said he did a great job. And you're right, she did leave out a ton of relevant things that I think makes her kind of appear a little dishonest to the court, but it's Fani. You know, she might be untouchable. The whole thing might just be a foregone conclusion. What's up, Chubby? Thank you. We got Felix says, hey, Judge Mercan's ruling are nothing but bias. We've seen a lot of them, and they all feel consistently adversarial to Trump. Ike's Girl says, did you see what Vote GA found out about Raffensperger? 18 pages long of all his lies with evidence. Check it out. Thank you, Ike's Girl. I think I did take a look at it. Maybe we'll cover that. We'll see. We'll see how the week unfolds. But yeah, good stuff. George is a mess. And the thing that really settled it for me was Judge Amy Totenberg's opinion about how this has been bad all the way since 2018. It's not just Trump. They just exploited it for Trump. It's been bad for a long time. True says, you won't be seeing Anna Cross when it comes to Fani. Look at her face when Fani walked in. She's out. I would be too. Yeah, I remember that. And I'm sure she felt blindsided, probably lied to. She had to come out and, say to the court a bunch of things that turned out not to be true. Kind of bad. Cindy Banks is on Locals, says, Julie Kelly said today that although the entire filing is correct, it may be too late because the trial start next week. What do you think, Robert? Yeah, I think that's like the judge, I think will deny it for sure. The judge will deny this. He'll say you can appeal it, but we're going to be starting the trial anyways. I think that's fair analysis. And Julie Kelly's very smart. Leanne says, OMG, Rob, the fanny pants store. Rob, you're killing me. That's a drop sheet. Ooh, but wait, there's more. Literally. A legend in her own mind. Great show, as always. Thanks. A drop sheet for their love indictment activities. Paul M says, whatever happened to the phrase, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names can never hurt me. I don't know. My mom knows that one pretty well. beat that into my head as a kid. It's a good kid. It's a good one. Yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me, is how I heard it. Words can never hurt me. They're just words. Name calling is bad. It's good advice for all the youth out there. Hopefully you know that. Chubby says, and shout out to Mom, love you, Mom, says, hey, Chubby Stubby, not only could they always mention the censoring of Schiff, they could also mention why he intentionally blatantly lied and misled the American people about the Russia collusion hoax. I'd say that any organization helping him must hold the same obvious bias towards Trump. A perfume for Fani. What if she starts selling a perfume? Noxious odor by Fani. Odor by Fani. Get yours at her Fani store. Janeway says Joe is filing to ungag Trump. Pray. Oh, good logic. Oh yeah, we had a nice conversation last night. Good Logic is working on some very cool stuff over there. And if you're not familiar with our friend Joe, he's right next door. Good Logic on YouTube. He's right next door on Locals. He's right next door on Rumble. And he's in New York. He's doing some pretty cool stuff over there. So go check him out and he'll catch up to speed on what he's working on. It'll be fun. Hey, MX, what's up? Hey, Todd Wilson, bringing in a dono from MX. What's up? Is that our friends in Mexico? Does it come up as MX? Is it a country code or is it a currency code? What's up, Todd? Either way, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. We got this one from Smoochin, second word, Magroin. Said, this is on Rumble, says there are good judges out there, very appropriate name for today's show, but they never get these cases. The right will have to do the same thing once Trump wins. Otherwise, there will be no accountability for these criminals. New perfume, Mendacity by Fani. By Fani, brought to you by Calvin Klein. Mendacity by Fani. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one, Rob. I like it. We got Smoochin'. We got this one from John McGarvey. Yeah, this is what Good Logic is working on. Good stuff. Yes, John. So Good Logic is working on that. Make sure you're following Joe to get the latest updates from him. We got this one from Jan. What's up, Jan? Became a new membo over on the YouTubes. Welcome aboard, Jan. We'll see you tomorrow on our morning members only stream. We got Will C says, what are Trump's options if judge does not recuse? So, yeah, good question. I mean, I think he's going to start the trial. So we'll probably talk about this tomorrow. But Trump just appealed the gag order. And there's a process that he's going through right now to do that. So that process is kind of convoluted. And it is something Joe's working on, and it's something that Todd Blanche just filed. But basically, you file what sounds like a petition. You file a lawsuit, then you go in front of a panel of judges, and then they will decide on that to challenge the underlying. Basically, you can challenge the judge's order. Joe, Good Logic was telling me about it. It's called an Article 78 proceeding. So, all good stuff. Yeah. So we'll see. It's happening right around the corner. So practically, I still think this judge is going to try to kick this trial off. Unless the Court of Appeals takes it away from him, he's going to keep this trial on track. Cowboy Rob says, whatever happened to that motion that Reagan lawyer submitted? You're probably talking about Ed Meese, the former AG, who is trying to disqualify Jack Smith for being illegitimate. That motion is still currently pending. That one is in Florida, and we're waiting on that one. Otherwise, the J6 case is on appeal at the Supreme Court. So, yeah, good to see you, Cowboy. Hey, Roger Needham is bringing in Tammy. Welcome aboard, Tammy, and thank you, Roger, for bringing her in. Felix says, the CNN interviewer, Caitlin, is not liking the answer. Look at her sour face. She was not happy about that. And that judge did a great job. It's clearly ridiculous what Merchan is doing. This one came in from Felix, and Rob over on Rumble says, the ACLJ indicates that Biden will not be on the general ballot in swing state Ohio because he had to be nominated by his party on August 7th. 2023. We're not worried. We have ballots. That's curious. They do good work over there. So we'll have to take a look at that one. Hey, Felix says 2.4 thousand thumbs up. Whoa, that's amazing, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for liking this video, wherever you're watching it. And thank you, Felix, for the reminder. Crash is over on Locals. Says the recusal motion will be summarily denied. I think that's a good prediction. The left is unapologetically turning a blind eye to all the evidence requiring recusal. No way this goes anywhere. I wager $10 against the hole in the donut. They, the Dems in New York, are bereft of any semblance of a conscience. Yeah, that's a good comment there. I don't think it's a good wager. I think you're right. I think that the judge is going to deny the recusal, and then Trump will appeal it. He'll probably go through the same process that they went through this morning on the gag order. Hey, Slade. What's up, Slade? Slade M says, longtime listener, first-time donor. Thank you, Slade. Very nice of you. And glad that you've been listening for a long time, and thanks for the dono. Glad to have you here. We got this one from Maria says, isn't it possible extortion or blackmail, possibly extortion or blackmail to tell Fani recuse or else? Yeah, I mean, if Fani wants, maybe she'll add another charge, I guess, is that what you're saying? I think he's just, I don't know if it's, extortion, like maybe she could charge him. You could probably find a prosecutor to charge him. Why not? She almost charged Jocelyn, right? How dare you interfere with us? Maybe she'll file something. I didn't even think about that. Maybe she'll file another crime against him, threatening a prosecutor or something. Fani's crazy. Maybe she'll do it. We got this one from, I don't think it's likely, but he didn't say anything there that was threatening or anything. I think he's explaining, like, legally, I don't think he broke the law. He's saying, I'm the victim of a crime and I am trying to pursue my harm, but this could all be rectified if she is recused, right? We'll see. Kendall Lynn says, I doubt that Judge Mercan would recuse himself. However, will Trump's recusal filings be pertinent in an appeals court? Yeah, so Kendall Lynn, it's a great answer, great question. And I think that's going to be the same process that we'll go through. So Trump's team, I was going to also try to squeeze that in today, but they didn't have the documents available yet. So we'll see if we can get it tomorrow, but tomorrow the filing should show us what this process looks like. Basically, you file Article 78 proceeding, go in, you have a mini hearing. They decide how to rule on the judge's ruling. And so there's a little sub process that you go through. And so, yeah, I think Trump, if he loses the recusal, he'll probably go through the same process as he's going through with the gag. Good to see you, Kendallin. Cowboy Rob says, ask R. Kelly about the Fani smell. Well, yeah, that trial's, well, I don't know if R. Kelly won, but Young Thug knows all about the Fani taint. Yeah. Object Class Keeter says the candle probably smells like corruption through and through. It's thick, it's noxious, it's stinky. 7 months. Object Class Keeter, man. Thanks for supporting us, man, for 7 months. 2 months more to a baby. We've got this one from Voice of the People says, wait, did Anna Cross just burn their witness to expose the corruption with Fani? I don't think so. I think Anna burned the witness to save her own credibility. She got made to be a liar, and then now she's gone. She's probably like, I'm done with you, Fani. She probably realizes how corrupt this is. She was probably also a little taken aback with how corrupt this was. She probably didn't know. She was arguing like she didn't know. She was arguing aggressively, calling Ashley Merchant a liar and stuff. You're like, gosh, you must really believe this. And then it came out that, like, oh yeah, Terrence Bradley was actually sending messages to Ashley, and she just got blindsided by it, so she had to take him out. Which is, I think, probably what I would do. If that happened to me, I would take him out, right? Tanya Kara says, hey, I am so excited. I will be a grandmother of twins end of October. Pray all have a wonderful day. Amazing, Tanya. Tanya, that is such good news. Congratulations to the Tanya Karas household. Tanya Karas regularly brings us the joy of Taco Tuesday, which I'm sure we'll see tomorrow. And now you're going to have more mouths to feed, Tanya. More tacos. It's going to be great. So congratulations, grandmother of twins, end of October. What an exciting announcement that is. And those are going to be 2 new babies, the real kind. We've got this one from Jennifer. What's up, Jennifer? Bringing in 5 new membos. Thank you, Jennifer. Says, bringing in Philip S. Rob H. coming in. Sassy and Free is here. Content removed. And Jana Q coming in, courtesy of Jennifer, inviting 5 new membos in the house. And thank you, my friends, for the tremendous support. All of your great super chats, our new membos. We love our new friends who are joining us on all the places. Let's say hello to our friends on X before we wrap it up. Go over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com for our members only community. What is this? X just says customize adult content settings for your communities. Oh, for our communities. We'll do that later. It's going to be very PG, okay? This is a family show. We're not degenerates here. All right, let's see who is joining us on the X platform. Who's in the house? We got some good comments. Fred says, hey, this one had me laughing pretty hard. Censured. Did I spell that right, hopefully? Hopefully your boy spelt that right here. Thank you, Fred. Yeah, that's what we had to make sure that we know. We know. Silicon Valley Reject. We got Charles Denman is here. The Rock says, vote for Trump or else. Charles D. What's up, Charles? Thank you for that. And let's see. Raven Madness. Hey, 17 pages of fun jury selection process from Mercon just came out. So we'll take a look at that. Feline is here, says, Rob, I love listening to you go through these very well composed motions, but sometimes it's discouraging and it feels like justice is lost. Everyone knows Mercon's not going to recuse himself. This is the case of a lifetime for him and for his daughter. Well, I think by them staying on this case, like it's going to backfire. I think it's backfiring. People are recognizing how corrupt this is. Danny says, Robert, take a day off before Trump goes to court. Go fishing. No, we have a country to save. We'll go fishing after the election is over and we seize America back, win America back. Danny says, I almost forgot to like. Azok says, at the Fani store, if I got the Fani candle, my house would my house smell of Fani? I don't know. It's not worth the risk. Here you go. Fani's new perfume, Mendacity by P. Diddy. Paul says, Rob, did you know that pecuniary peculiarities are particularly peculiar, pecuniarily speaking? How'd I do? Hey, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad on the first go round. Thank you, Sleepy Dog Lee. Paul Mino in the house with a very peculiar comment. And so, my friends, that is it for us over on the X platform. Thank you for following us on X at Rob Govea ESQ. Thanks for following other watchers out there in the wild, in the wilderness, on X, so that you can see what everybody else is up to. Make some friends out there. And of course, come on over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com, which is where we are going right now for our members only after party. We do streams in the morning. We do streams on Saturday. We talk about a bunch of stuff that we can't get to here. And it's a lot more casual and fun and kind of laid back. So come and join us. That's where we're going right now. We also have the website. PDFs are on there. Show calendar is on there. Our newsletter is on there. Sign up for that newsletter. That way, when stuff comes to your inbox, you can forward it to everyone you've ever met. And they'll love you for it. They'll be like, wow, I can't believe you keep sending me all these emails. Never stop, you know? Yeah, thanks. So we also have a bunch more there. Check it out. And watcherlodge.com. Come on over and join us. We're doing Sovereignty Saturdays. We had a great session last Saturday. We're talking about home gardening and building out your own independent food supply. It's a project that we're working on here. It's going to be a long one as we start to grow food. And I laid out everything that I'm doing. So if you want to follow along, come and join us, watcherlodge.com. And don't forget to sign up for the actual event on Sovereignty Saturdays. Click the community calendar, come and join us, and we'll see you there on Saturday. So that, my friends, is it for us on the day. Before we wrap it up, I want to say thank you to our mods and our meme smiths who are here keeping the house nice and tidy and in order. Our friends, Donut Mind Me, modding down the fort for us. We got Dog Digger, Jan Eck, John Allen, Zach Nichols, Beyond Geo, Zulu, Ronnie Cole, Playin' Hooky, Just Cause, K-Bean, Vienticus Prime, and I think we saw Economy Pilot also helping us out today. And so thank you to our mods. We got our meme smiths. You saw Sleepy Dog Lee, Nathan N810, and Geegum Geegum, who make things beautiful with their amazing memes. But that, my friends, is it for us on the day. We are going over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com for our members only after party. Come and join us. But if not, well, we are going to be back here tomorrow to get into it again. It's going to be a beautiful Tuesday, and we need to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Make it a beautiful night, my friends. Sleep very well. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.